I am delighted to be able to talk a little bit tonight about my brother and Ashley. In considering what to talk about tonight, I thought about some of the different aspects of Josh, and I realized that there are a lot of sides to Josh that a lot of people know, many of you are probably familiar with, and they're things that I have grown up around Josh my whole life, but that other people only see like certain segments of Josh. So, for example, Josh, as many of you probably know and has been referenced, is a celebrity on YouTube, and so a lot of times I've had it happen socially to me that people will recognize me or point out that we have the same last name and other things like this, and we'll be like, oh yeah, like Josh is so amazing, I follow his YouTube channel, and that's always like a very gratifying aspect of being Josh's brother, is that he has gained a great deal of success in that aspect of his life. The other part to Josh is Josh, who is a very successful athlete. When we were kids, he wrestled, he biked, he skis, he plays soccer, he does trick shots now, and Josh is an athlete, and from that standpoint also to many people he's an inspiration. Josh is also a designer of schemes. Josh always has some new scheme going. So some of my favorite Josh schemes are when we were kids, he distributed a newspaper that my mom would take him to Kinko's to print. Josh also ran a radio station that he broadcast in the ventilation systems of our house when we were kids. A sign of times to come. Josh also is, one of the earlier schemes that combined a number of Josh's talents was the first time that Josh went to a dance, he went to homecoming. And we weren't allowed to go to homecoming for our freshman year because, the obvious reasons. But so the next year we were allowed to go, and given the excitement of this moment, Josh's idea was, we should film him asking his date to the dance. So this is, back in the days before everyone has, high, complex computing machines they carry around style, camcorders that we carried up the street to where this girl lived who I'd never met, and Josh had met, a couple times, and so we show up at this girl's house, and we like knock on her door, and I'm filming, and her mom comes out, and she's like, hello, and I'm just like standing there, and Josh is like, oh, it was awesome. And she comes out, he asks her to dance, we film this whole thing, and this was the first time I got to participate in one of Josh's videos. And I, of course, told everyone I knew, about my awesome older brother and this incredible prank that we pulled. And then one of Josh's other schemes was, for those of you who don't know, Josh can't have gluten. And this was the result of what I, at the time, and Josh thought was an excellent idea, which was reducing the cost of his food intake to $1.44 a day. And so when Josh and Brad were living together, and Josh came up with this idea, he, for 3 weeks, ate only beans and rice. And then he developed a gluten allergy as a result of that. So there are, if you can ask Josh at any given point, like, what's one of your current schemes? And there will always be an excellent story. That's another aspect of Josh. Josh is also very analytical and has been an inspiration for me in the way that he's approached his professional life as well. When Josh met Ashley, we we were out, and it was I think a great exhibition of characteristics of both of them, which is that Josh is a dope dancer and Ashley gives incredible compliments. For those of you, many of you I'm sure are here who've been on the receiving end of an Ashley compliment, they make you feel like you validated you being a person. And so, Ashley walks by, gives Josh a great compliment, keeps going. Later on, if you're wondering who's responsible for the wedding, when Ashley needed to be pointed out later, when we were looking to see who it was that had complimented, you might know it was actually me that told her. You're welcome. But so then Josh and Ashley, they started dating, and it was. It became quickly apparent to me that Ashley was also a person who supported Josh in all of the delightful and myriad, and supported many of his early YouTube videos. They're throwing airplanes off buildings together, and just being a gross couple, and she supports him in, athletics, and they do spinning classes together, and they do other athletic things together. And they support one another on all of these different levels that make up who each of them is. And the first time that I realized that was when we were going to Bobby Persher's wedding. And I, until then, had considered myself to be the definitive expert on Josh, and we had all been spending time together, and had been with Josh at the same time, and Josh left and needed to go get a coffee, and I was like, later I was like, where did Josh go? And Ashley was like, he went to get a coffee. I just think, he probably needed some time by himself, needed some Josh time. And like that, it's like as a person, we have the accumulation of thousands of days and events and moments that all kind of stack up to the substance that creates us. And it was that was the moment when I was I got it. And I was like, oh man, Ashley's the new expert on Josh. That's it. And for creatures as small as we are, in a universe as expansive as we live in, love is perhaps the only thing that makes life both permissible and worth living. And it's kind of the greatest experiment that you can embark on, is deciding that you're going to do something forever. And that for the rest of your life, that if you call out, there won't be silence there will be a person there. And I'm so glad that you guys have found matches to each other, and that you guys will be able to answer that call and support each other in each of the incredible and beautiful and myriad complexities that both of you possess. I couldn't be happier. And I know that everyone is here because they feel the same way. Because this is a moment that's, in a lot of ways it's particular, it's rehearsed, there's words that we use to talk about ceremonies and traditions. And, we've all been to weddings before. But at the same time, the thing to be right here, right now, getting to see that, and be here at the culminating moment of when you all start forever together. And I am so glad that I got to be here and you guys get that together. Here's to you all.
Hey guys, thanks for attending our wedding. For a whole bunch more 360-degree video, including footage from the camera that was hidden in Ashley's bouquet, an extended cut of our wedding ceremony, and Luke's walking tour of our wedding venue, check out the links in the underbar. All this magical footage was created using these Ricoh Theta cams. If you're interested in one of these magical devices, check out the link in the underbar. And finally, if you're wondering what I will dress as for Halloween this year, make sure you're subscribed to my YouTube channel and you'll be among the first to know.
We should hang out sometime.